Hello, welcome back to my channel. How are you? How have you been? Two things happened recently. Actually, no, not two things. One, I watched a movie recently and something there just took my mind back to something that happened last year. So this is 10 months in between, but you know how the mind works sometimes. And it took me down memory lane. And I'll explain what I mean by down memory lane. Welcome to Coffee with Temmi. How are you? So, last year, maybe I should start with last year. Last year, I wanted my child to, I asked her, would you like to take a photo with Santa? You were at the mall. This was all before the corona time. And she said to me, no. And I thought, oh, maybe she's getting shy now. She's at that age where she's conscious and all of this. So I said, no, okay, I'll take one with you. You don't have to do it alone. And she said, no. And the way she said no was very emphatic. And I said, oh, why don't you want to? She said, 3 reasons. 1, I'll be sitting on a stranger's lap. 2, I'll be sitting on a stranger's lap. 3, I'll be sitting on a stranger's lap. I said, okay. And I almost said, oh, but this is Santa. And then I paused and I stopped. Because Santa is a stranger. We don't know who he is. And I didn't want to give mixed messages, that there's some people and, some people are fine for you to sit on their lap and others are not. So I said, oh, okay. And I left it like that. Then last week, I watched the movie, recently, last week, I watched this movie where this young couple decided to foster three children whose mom had gone to prison. And at Christmas, they bought them all these lovely toys, all wrapped up, boxes and boxes of toys. These kids are not used to toys, or getting new things. And they just took the wrappers off and threw toys everywhere without looking at it. When it was empty, they climbed into the box. That's what they wanted, the boxes. They made cars from the boxes. They pushed each other. They ran around, They used their imagination with the boxes. And it made me realize that there were 2 things, but the other one is not important for now. That, it brought to my mind that what kids are experiencing today, what memories are they going to have today of their childhood? The kids being in the boxes is the kind of thing that we would have done when I was a child. What memories do our kids what memories are they going to have? Do you remember when you were young and we had to use our imagination? I remember boys running, waiting for old tires or looking around for old tires and running, where I grew up, in the area where I grew up. And, running down the street or running in the compound with the tires and racing. And it was nice. And if they were fortunate enough to have someone who could put the tires together with some planks in the middle, it would be a car. And they would push each other around, and that was fun. And when there was I remember very well, when there was no power, and where I grew up, we had power shortages. And we will sit outside if it's very hot. We will sit outside on a mat. My dad will put a mat down, and we'll all sit outside, and he will tell us stories, tales by what we'll call, just tales that he grew up with. And will play with us some games that I don't remember them now. And I don't really know what was really fun about it. But I remember the games. And that was what they did when he was growing up. And it was okay for us too when we were growing up. And these are the things that we had to use our imagination for. If it was raining, and up to today I'm like that. If it was raining, we will sit in the house and drink hot chocolate, Bonvita. I remember Bonvita or Milo, and we would have puzzle books to play to work with, join the dots and all of that. But that's not what happened these days. Kids will have a device in their hand. There's always something. There's the TV and there's a game console they're playing with. There's something on their tablet. There's a phone, but to actually play with their imagination. I don't It is not often that you see that anymore. You know, have you been to restaurants before, or even in cars? Everybody is on their phone, on one thing or the other. Somebody is busy, except maybe the person driving. And that you go out sometimes to eat, and everybody is on their own phone. There's no conversation going on. The act of conversation is going the way of letters. I feel sad. Not kind of. I actually feel sad that these kids. They probably think my childhood was very boring, but I think these kids are going to grow up with no memories except for TV, except for the games. I mean, when was it Pac-Man or what was it that came out that time? And oh my word, it was all this kind of stick figure on your phone when the mobile phone came out, and it was very exciting. But you know I have to sometimes say when I'm watching a young person play, I'm like, are you watching a movie? Are you part of the movie? Is there like an interactive movie? They say, oh no, it's a game. That's alpha. Some people actually, some of these kids live in virtual reality. They are not used to being with people. They are not used to actually talking to each other. You find conversations that go, yeah. So, yeah. Tom and Jerry. I confess, I love Tom and Jerry. And I'm always rooting for Tom, because I think Jerry is just plain mischievous and is really mean to Tom. But that is me. And Tom and Jerry has a lot of violence. I would say that straight up, a lot of violence. But it didn't incite us to violence. All these days you hear, oh no, kids mustn't watch this because it's very it makes them think of doing dangerous things. But if you go to look at what is available on TV, what is available in video games, Tom and Jerry is the least of the problem. Tom and Jerry is the least of the problem. I think I can't even remember some of the, like Scooby. The Scooby that we watched was quite different. You remember Scooby-Doo? It was different. And when the Scooby that they show in these days, I'm like, what's going on here? Who is whose girlfriend? There was nothing like that. We kind of knew somebody may like someone, but my under 10 will tell me somebody's got a crush on someone. You might think maybe I'm being unrealistic and not moving with the times, but I want my child to have a childhood. I want my child to be a child. She's only going to be a child once, and I tell her all the time, you're only going to be a child once. Whatever else you want to do when you're an adult, like we're going to wear makeup when we are adults and stuff like that. Be a child now. There are things that you can't do when you're a certain age, but you can get away with when you're young. Oh, I think of hopscotch. Do you know I found children, and when I'm talking about 6, 7, 8-year-olds who did not know what hopscotch was. I had to draw it and then, is that what it's called? How do you play it? What else did you do when you were on holidays? We drew, you're waiting for, you form teams to jump this, into the squares. It was something that you couldn't wait, to have breakfast and wash up and go out and play. We had teams to do skip. That one that you do, the jump rope thing that we do. We had teams to do it. You had there was something that we played when I was young called 10-10. You have to come from a certain part of Nigeria, I think, for you to know what this is. But it's called 10-10. I think that's what you say, 10-10. And I remember I remembered it a couple of years back. I'm laughing because I was with another woman, and we remembered and we decided to play. I didn't realize how strenuous it was. No wonder we never gained weight when we were young. The clapping, you had to clap and turn around and move your feet, and you had to, I can't even remember what the rules were. But it was something that we did. We didn't need any device. We didn't need any gadgets to help us. Do you understand what I'm saying? What kind of memories is my child going to have that doesn't have to do with My Little Pony or Miraculous? Yes, I know all these things because I have to watch them. Miraculous Ladybug. That didn't have to be SpongeBob, that SpongeBob, that doesn't have to do with Teen Titans. These are all things that are on one device or the other. Is it a wonder that kids are getting bigger? And haven't been home for 6-7 months this year. It's not just the adults that have put on weight. The kids have also put on weight. Their brain have become, I'm sure if you could look into it, the electrical current going through their brain would have increased. I don't know. I think of another memory that I have of growing up, and let me go back to what my child said to me last year, because this memory kind of links into it. When we were growing up and we were going to school, we were in buses, what is called taxi here in South Africa. When we were in buses, if there was no space for anyone to sit again, and an adult wanted to come in, nobody needed to tell you, you will get up. And if you didn't, this stranger that you do not know from anywhere will pull your arm so that you get up. They say, get up, sit on my lap. If it's a woman, so they say, get up, sit on my lap. And you will sit. And you'll be so happy that you didn't have to pay, because they won't charge you, then they will only charge the woman whose lap you're sitting in. And if it's a man, you stand up and grumble inside you. You don't say it out, because how can you sit down when there's an adult standing? Huh? Yeah, you will get some kids who will be like, I paid whatever it is, I'm not getting up, I want to sit down. But most of the time, we'll do it without even thinking about it. And if it was an old woman, or if you are at a certain age, you will say, no ma, don't worry ma, I'm just going to stand. And they will praise you, a good girl, good manners, good boy, whatever. And that's it. And sometimes we will walk home from school. We will walk, not because we didn't have the fare for our buses. We will walk home because we wanted to chat with our friend. And the distance, if I could watch this distance these days every day, I would lose weight so quickly. I would not have to even do anything else, just do that work every day. And we'll walk home and we'll chat along the way and all of that. But you know what? What I'm noticing these days, our kids don't even know how to go in taxis. How many of you do your kids go to school in a taxi, in a bus, or anywhere? They don't. They're too scared. Or we are too scared. I don't know which it is. So we take them from one place to the other. And we justify it. And I'm one of them. My child is too young. That's my own now. For now, my child is too young. And I think I'll win this one. On my child is too young. But think, will I let my child today be in a taxi, in a bus, and sit on a stranger's lap? No, that is the way the world is now. That my under 10 can be saying to me, knowing fully well that she shouldn't sit on a stranger's lap. So Santa now is not trusted, even though she doesn't know if he has any evil intentions, and Santas are not supposed to have evil intentions. But you get what I'm saying? Our kids don't have that that freedom anymore, which is what we did that. I remember it was very nice, the Santa thing that we used to, the Father Christmas, when we used to go in this train, which probably went maybe 10 meters, but it was really nice. And you sat on Santa and you got your present and you took a photograph. But kids can't do that anymore, because we've said don't sit on a stranger's lap. And we have to, because that's the way the world is now. The things that we would have done without thinking before, we can't do it anymore. We used to just go to my mom needed to know who my friends were, and I could just go without fear. Right? There are just so many things now that kids are not able to do anymore because of the evil, and I have to say that the evil in the society, because of technology. What kind of memories is my child going to have? And I feel so sad about it. What are the things that you used to do when you were young that didn't need any device? You didn't need any device and you had fun. You know, put it in the comments, please. Just the things that you used to do when you were young and you had fun. And when you think of it now, you know, you remember and you roll around and you laugh about it. It's been Coffee with Temmi. And I didn't take a sip at all of my coffee. I tried, eh? I'll see you next week. Bye for now.